In today's episode, we've got James Merendino.
This is James. Yeah, stick around.
Welcome to the Tunepact podcast. I'm your host, the punk rock pop, Lee Pierce. And today we have part two with James Merendino. James, thanks for sticking around for a second episode.
Sure. No problem. Where were we?
This new project you've got going on, let's talk about that. It's related for sure.
Yeah, it's a documentary. We decided to do a documentary. Feel like it's getting on now. It's over 25 years, and I feel like a friend of ours, like the Steve-O's, no, Bob's dad, the actor, died, and I'm thinking, like, these people are going to start, going away, and this movie became a cult film that was not supposed to be a cult film, or I didn't know it was going to be a cult film. I don't think anyone knows the movie was going to be a cult film, but it did, and I kind of wanted to document that part of it for posterity. So, like, it's not really even a for-profit endeavor. It's just, that's why I'm getting fans to help me finance it, and I'm matching those funds because I just want to make it about fans. I want to make a documentary about why people ever even were drawn to the movie. Why are they drawn to cult movies in general? Because it's not Star Wars. These are little tiny niche movies, but this one has several million fans. And like already when we went to Salt Lake, we shot some of the documentary, and there's a girl who says, I came up here from Mexico and moved to Salt Lake City because of SLC Punk. I was like, whoa, so like I want to know more about why that resonated from various people. Even if they hate it, I want to know why you hated it, because like they're still talking about it. And my God, like indie movies that are talked about 25 years later is just not something that happens very often. I mean, like, I can name a whole bunch of movies from that period that, like, people still don't talk about.
Yeah,
Limey was made. Does anyone talk about the Limey anymore? Or Hideous Kinky? Have you even heard of that? I mean, Go, I guess some people still talk about Go, but that was a much bigger film than SLC Punk. And I don't know if they talk about it as much as they, or Election. Election was a huge movie that year. And I don't think that people really are like just talking about it anymore. It's still a popular movie, but it's not like people go and review it the way that like people keep watching SLC Punk. And I just kind of wanted to find out why. And sometimes I feel like because new generations keep discovering it, and it's maybe it's a conduit to get into punk the way that Rocky Horror was, unintentionally. Because there's even a TikTok side of SLC Punk. There's SLC Punk Talk, where they're all like dressing up in the outfits of the characters, or they're doing edits or whatever. Which I want to document that. That's so the documentary is about fans. It's not really, even though I'll talk to the actors, but I want to know what their attitude is like. Did you know it was going to be a cult film? How did it affect you later on? Like, did people come up to you and say, I recognize you from that movie, that kind of thing. So it's not really like a behind the scenes of the making of it. It's more about what people think of it, why they became interested in it. I want to talk about people.
well, yeah, and I saw the first teaser that you released. The one woman talking about how she'd just the night before she had went to back when the movie came out, talk about she had been to, like, it was a Backstreet Boys concert or something,
Yeah.
and then the next day she watched SLC Punk, and it literally changed her life. Like, that was the direction her music taste went.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, that was so cool to hear that. I
Yeah.
love hearing stuff like that.
Yeah. It redirected her taste in music.
Well, you picked a fantastic soundtrack. And that, so I mean, just the good driving songs. It showed all the different. I mean, because people think punk music is just punk music, but there's so many subgenres, and not even subgenres. I mean, you take two of the oldest punk bands like Stooges and Ramones, and they don't even really sound like the same genre to a real music fan.
Yeah,
So
no, it's just not produced. Just they just
no,
underproduced is the idea. Like, I don't think that was the. I'm friends with Durwood, who was the guitarist for Gen X, Generation X with Billy Idol. Billy
yeah,
Idol brought him into the band when he was really young, and he always was like, like, so that's the beginning of punk, like Generation X and Sex Pistols in England, anyway.
Yeah.
For that, there was a movement at that Malcolm McLaren's little movement there, and he was part of that. And he said that for them, they're just trying to make rock and roll without a lot of effects or money. And so like like when when that was, I think his attitude. A lot of their attitudes. I think like I like the proto punk stuff, like Modern Lovers. I really like that stuff, Jonathan Richman. But then like it led to like people like Ramones and Stooges and stuff like that. So yeah. It doesn't necessarily. There is no like way to be a punk band. I
No,
think
because even the stuff from like I'm 49, so like I still listen to all the same music from 40 years ago and 30 years ago. I still love the same bands, and even those, like I have a playlist. It's a punk playlist, but like it's all the bands on it don't. None of them sound like they should even tour together, let alone be on the same playlist or in the same genre. But I think that's what I love about the music is it's more about the stripped down and the attitude and stuff that's behind it and the message that it has too.
Well, I
That's
mean,
for sure.
I find like people will try to categorize, and they can. It's okay. I've done it to like certain bands. This is punk. This is goth. This is something else. But I mean, like, I will definitely have like Violent Femmes on the same record as I would have the Ramones, even though Violent Femmes are not considered a punk band. Um, they kind of are,
Yeah.
I mean, like, they're not normal. I mean, they're not. I mean, they're not like heavy metal, or they're not. Like I don't know how else would you define them?
I don't. I see. I've heard Violent Femmes called the first folk punk band too.
Yeah, they wouldn't say that. I had them
No, they
play.
wouldn't.
I had them play They were at the Sundance opening. They played the party, and they said like They said I don't know. Well, I enjoyed the movie. We were never considered a punk band. We don't consider ourselves punk rockers, but like fuck it. And then they played, and then they like I don't think that they consider themselves. But I guess I could see that folk punk. Yeah, I mean like, but
Yeah, see,
like, I don't think.
I've always loved them. I'm from Wisconsin, so I've seen them a couple times. And actually, I'm taking my wife. She's never seen them. Next month, actually, we're gonna go see them again. So, or I'm seeing them again. She gets to see them for the first time, so she's pretty stoked.
They're great. God, they were that party was awesome. Like they were so fun. Everybody knew all the lyrics and everything. It was a throwback to the '80s. It was 1999. I don't. It's so funny because it wasn't that. To me, that'd be like, oh, it's so long ago, 1985. It was only 14 years ago. So it just as we get older, it's stuff like Now my movie's older than how long it was between them being popular and anyway. So I'm so glad. I'm glad they're still around. But also like even like Joy Division or 45 Grave, all those goth bands that like those still to me are just it's all punk rock to me. Like I mean, whenever it goes against sort of that produced grain, I feel like something's going on.
Oh, exactly. But the sad part is to nowadays, well, I'm a marketing specialist, so you have to, everything's got to be labeled so you know how to get it out there and how to find it too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like the audiences are. Have you guys? So you guys have gone into ska, right?
Oh, with Punkerton, yeah.
Yeah. So like fourth wave is that fourth wave ska?
I can't even keep track. Yeah, I guess so.
First wave ska is obviously from Jamaica. Second wave is like Specials and all those bands. Third wave is like people like Rancid. So it must be fourth wave ska. I love ska. I hope that's what's going on. That's it. Do you guys ever take any bands that aren't punk? Do you take any goth bands or stuff like that?
Well, yeah, they're on Punkerton. There's a metalcore band. There's an acoustic punk, kind of folk punk, acoustic punk, um ska band. So yeah, it's called Punkerton, but it's a little of everything.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, Epitaph did that too, so why not
Hmm.
follow their model?
Yeah, oh, exactly. Well, and then Epitaph went and did the split off with Hellcat to make it even personalize or specify the sound down even more, and
Yeah,
that's always a smart move when you see labels doing stuff like that.
yeah,
Again, it's all about trying to break the genres down and to get them like sounded ones, so you know where to get. A fan of a label is just as important as a fan of the bands on the label.
yeah, yeah.
So let's get back to so with SLC Punk, like you said, you're doing a whole documentary trying to figure out why everybody loves it so much. When was it
Or
that
why some people like it.
yeah, why some people. But so when was it for you that it kind of that light went off like, "Oh wow, like this is big." Like when was that realization and what was that like?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there was a. Let me think. I mean, I guess when I was hanging out with this Romanian actor, no, Serbian actor in Sweden, and he heard I made SLC Punk, and he said, "I want to buy you a beer," and I was like, "Oh wow, like how did you heard?" I said, "Yeah, we got that in Serbia, you know, in Croatia, well, in Sarajevo," and I was like, "Whoa, like, you know, like how did that happen?" So I don't know, like so I guess that's when I realized how broad it had gotten, you know. But I don't know, like otherwise, like because it was slow, it built slowly. Um, yeah, so I don't know. That's why I'm trying to find out.
Yeah, it's one of those movies. I think because as we age, like I know for me, I watch every time I watch the movie, I kind of laugh because at different stages of my life, I've been every one of those characters
Really?
in that
Okay.
movie. I've been, and
Yeah.
same with the SLC Punk too. At different points of my life, I've been every one of those characters. Not
Uh,
proud for some of those, but I've been all of those. So
yeah.
I think there's little nuances because you're seeing it from new eyes every
Yeah.
time you watch it. And honestly, every time I watch your movies, and it's regular, it's at least monthly,
Oh wow.
I notice something or I feel something a little different than I did the last time I watched it. And that's easily like that's the sign of a great movie. And you really made great movies, and I thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they're just hard to get made, but like you know, they're hard to get made. Um, but I mean like so barring punk movies, I mean I inject into all the movies that I make, but I'm making like my next movie I'm making is sort of is a horror movie, but it's gonna be horror. But I do horror comedy, so like it's sort of like it's hard to sort of say exactly what's going on there because it's like the ideas are kind of ridiculous. But you know, I tend to make like these sort of paranoid horror thrillers like Polanski used to do, like with Rosemary's Baby or The Tenant. So I'm working on something like that, but like inevitably, you know, like the characters, it becomes like this sort of punk commentary. Like they end up being punk anyway. Like you know, like even the music, you know, I use and ends up, you know, being that. So yeah,
I guess that's the side of good music when it kind of takes over and you can't help but even when you try to keep it out, it still kind of squeaks its way in because it's in there. It's part of you. So when you're creating, it's gonna show through whether you try to, if you want it there or not. Even if you
yeah,
try to hide it, you can't sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
That sounds like a fun project. I see. I used to love horror. The gorier, the better. I always loved it. And I don't know, is like I think after I became a grandpa, all of a sudden, like I ain't got the stomach for it. I can't. If it's
Oh really?
comedy
Like
horror,
it's become too.
it creeps me out. If it's a horror comedy, I can watch it all day. Anything like I love horror comedies, but like I tried watching. I've always loved the Final Destination movies.
Uh huh.
I couldn't sit through the new one. I was so excited about it, and it just kept creeping me out. I
Oh,
had to
that's
finally
pretty
shut it
crazy, though.
off.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
kind
it's
of also supposed to be tongue in cheek. This is more like it's a mockumentary again because I just did these series, so I'm doing another mockumentary where the director there's an actor, a famous, quasi-famous actor who's also a demon hunter at night, right? So like he goes out. It's a real actor, and he by days, you know, he's his whole life I mean he's a horror actor, so he keeps doing these like, but in real life he hunts demons, and he does it in the most aggressive way, you know, with guns and like he, you know, he blows them to pieces. He murders cult members. Like he's a very aggressive paranormal paranormal field agent and activist. I don't know, like whatever you'd call it. He's a like a paramilitary paranormal investigator. So and he's goes operates under these orders from some shady organization, and he goes out and he's doing these sort of he does these, and he's now ready to reveal who he is. So he's doing this documentary. They're doing a documentary on him, and the director doesn't buy any of it. So so the whole time it's just this like fight between the director going like, these are effects. You're full of shit. You're like, even though like in the face of like this, like a little boy whose head is like, turning around and like he's trying to get Pazuzu out of him. He's saying like Pazuzu's from The Exorcist. Like that's not a real thing. It's something that Devin and I had developed, and so it's going to be Devin Sawa Demon Hunter. So it's
God, yes, I was gonna ask. Please, I don't need spoilers, but please tell me it's Devin. Oh my God, when I say I love comedy horrors, Idle Hands is probably one of my top 5 favorite films of all time.
Yeah.
So like honestly, and like the first Final Destination, and then get him in the new Chucky series, Devin, that, oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yeah, because he can play this sort of, it's all improvised, and it's like Spinal Tap. So like it's going to be like Spinal Tap, right? But he hunts demons, and he's he's got his sort of ornate Christian muskets, and he's got a cross. It's a big knife. He's very aggressive, and also like he plays paranoid really well, and he plays like overcommitted really well. Like in Final Destination, when he's like, "You're trying to get me." Like he's very good at that, and he's such a good actor. So it should be really funny, like to have this sort of dynamic.
That's why I loved Idle Hands so much. Yeah. I mean, the whole he did it so fucking good. It was so damn fun. Now, is this gonna be a movie or a series?
This is a movie. Yeah. We originally started out pitching it as a series, but now we're just finalizing, and I should be hopefully shooting in November, and it's gonna be crazy because like I don't know if you saw Troll Hunter, but so it's sort of like it's because it's just 2 cameras doing this documentary and the director interacting with him, and the effects are like really real, and then they're even more realistic because it looks like a documentary. So, I mean, like the beginning is just like it just opens up where these people are running down a street. There's a camera crew, right, following this guy and a director. They're not talking. They're following this guy dressed up in I don't know, steampunk style paranormal activity hunting clothes, and he's acting like one of those like Team Seal 6, where he's like everyone's got to get down on their knees. He's doing the signals with his with his fingers, like look there, and doing this stuff, and they have no idea what he's talking about. Then they're in this like dilapidated apartment hallway, and they get to a door, and he's like shh, and then he pulls out this battering ram and he batters open this door, and they all come running in, and he rushes up, and all these like 4 like cult guys come at him, and he just takes out these guns, and like John Wick blows them away, drops the guns, and then like goes up to this woman who's tied to a chair, and he says like, "I'm gonna get you out of here," and the woman looks up at him with like no eyes and says, "This one is mine," and then her head blows up, and blood goes everywhere, and then the director, then everything calms down, and he's covered in blood, and the director says, "So is this more or less what you were hoping to, the outcome would be on this particular thing?" And he's like, "No, I actually was hoping to get here earlier," and this becomes a documentary, and then finally the director says, "So are all famous actors also demon hunters?" And he's like, No, just some of us. And then it goes, Devin Sawa Demon Hunters. So that's
oh God. I love, well, and that's one, like, you're listening to you talk about your movies. It's great because people tell about themselves things they don't that they don't even know, and I love it because it's one of the reasons why SLC Punk became such a cult classic, is because the movies you write, they're either I love the mockumentary style, or like the fourth wall break where Steve-O is talking to you, and the way you write the characters or not the characters, the people watching feel like one of the characters, because like in the mockumentary, it's like you could be standing there next to the person.
That's the
The
whole
way
idea.
that
Yeah, that you're
yeah,
in there with
the
them.
way you write and shoot, we're in your movies. That's why. Like, you want to know why people love your movies, because you invite us into it. You make us part of your films, and
Yeah.
it's just so cool. I mean, everything you make is got that. Like, you're just reaching through the screen and bringing us along with you, and I just love it. And thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think I'm very excited about this movie. Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully, when this comes out, we'll be further down the line on production on this. But like, it'll be. I think it'll be a good time.
Yeah, that I can't even like. Oh my god! Like I've this is first like I told you, like my wife's laughing at me because I'm like bouncing off the walls. I was so excited to get to have you on my podcast today. I've been so excited. So getting to talk to you and then hearing about the extra Steve-O story and then this one with Devin, like this is like my best day ever.
Oh,
This has been
awesome!
so much fun.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna just sit here and try not to total fanboy and geek out and annoy you. I've been so stoked about this.
So anyway, well, so I pitched that. So I'm pitching because I'm in the middle of pitching. I have to, when you're pitching, you're in that mode.
Oh
So I'm
yeah.
pitching Devon Sawa Demon Hunter for a little while now. So yeah.
Oh, I can't even explain how many ways I love that.
Well, I mean,
That's
can you
it's
imagine like he like when we're saying like in a sit down interview with him, and he's saying like, so how did you get into this? Like, why now? Why are you doing this thing? Why demon hunting? What is that all about? He's like, well, ever since I did Casper, and then you cut to Casper, and it says I want to keep him. I mean, I don't know if we do that, but like that kind of thing. And then when you get to the end of that scene, he's like, so why did you decide to do this documentary? And then he would maybe ask, well, why are you doing this documentary? And then the director would say, because I wanted to record your complete mental breakdown. Like, and just like, like, so that, they keep this sort of, skeptical, even though like in the face of like seeing people's heads blow up, the director's just adamantly not going to believe that this is real. Yeah.
awesome. Well, and like having the whole movie's just one big kind of fourth wall break at
Oh,
any point that you
it's
want.
all you're doing is the whole time.
So like you could, I mean, I'm the marketing guy. I live and breathe marketing. So
Yeah.
I'm sort of thinking, I'm like, you're doing the little interviews where they're doing that. That can actually be part of your marketing. Is him on Devin on whatever talk show talking about the demon hunting. You can actually use that as the movie.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Press.
Because it just feel like it just like you're gonna want to maintain this sort of what the audience would do. So like that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's not real. Like so
Exactly.
so,
Because
so like,
I always love when they have that where like in a movie where if it's where a character or an actor's playing themselves or it's playing someone famous that's on a show. And I
Yeah.
always love that. Like you'll see it'll be a movie and like it'll be whatever they're playing, but they'll actually use like when they were on the Tonight Show to film that segment of the movie.
right. Yeah.
And I love seeing stuff like that. Like that could be you actually do that for all the. I mean, that's just awesome. There's so many opportunities with this idea. I love it so much.
Yeah. 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 It should be funny. It should be fun. So what else? So the documentary, we want to go. I want to. So with the SLC Punk documentary, I do want to go around the country a little bit when we have like just schedule like weekends and shoot like in. I want to talk to like the little towns. I don't want to just New York and LA. That's a little boring to me. Like I want to talk to like. I want to go to Columbus. I want to go to Oklahoma City. I want to go to I want to go to the places where like there are people who like have little scenes there because like that's what it's about.
Well, and I think because it resonates different with someone from Salt Lake City or southern Wisconsin, like me, or Columbus, Ohio. Somebody in the Midwest where there wasn't. It's not like New York or LA where there was a huge punk scene where, you know, it almost started in this country. It was the little places where there wasn't even any music scene, let alone punk.
Yeah,
So
look,
I,
when
and
Matthew
so
Lillard went on Jon Stewart's show to talk about it, and he said I was in this movie SLC Punk, and Jon Stewart's first very smug reply was there were punks in Salt Lake City, and his audience, you know, you know, and I was like, "Fuck you, John! Like, what the." You know, like what you were in a punk bar in New Jersey. What's the fucking difference, man? You know, like what he was a bartender at a punk bar in Jersey. Like what? Oh, there are punks in New Jersey, John. I want to fucking, and when I see that guy, I'm gonna fucking throw that right back in his face. Like, of course there are punks in Salt Lake City. What a dumbass. What a stupid thing to say. Of course there are. The music goes everywhere. It's that magical thing. It's called the radio.
what was it? What was it? Steve-O said when he was in the movie when he's talking about why there's more punks in places like that.
Yeah, because
why
it was
it
a
means
really
more.
oppressively conservative town.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you're oppressed. You have nothing to do with your energy, and you don't want to be like everybody else. I mean, in New
yeah,
York, it's okay to be
yeah.
whatever you want to
You were
be.
fine. You were accepted to be completely. You were expected to be nuts. So for him to make that like such an obvious comment and his audience laugh, I just went like, oh, I'm so disappointed, John. Like that's dude.
Yeah.
What's
Well,
wrong
then
with
one
you,
of
man?
a perfect example of tell me you didn't see the movie without telling me you didn't see the movie
Yeah,
because you would
yeah.
have understood that was the wrong comment.
And he had a guest on to talk about the movie, so I was like, okay, well that's great. Thanks, John. I mean, he was being supposed to be funny. I just did like that was a very lazy joke.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, the joke. It'd been more funnier if you'd said they let you release a movie like the Mormons the church let you release that movie like that. At least go deeper. You know, like instead of just saying they had sophistication in Salt Lake City. You know, people eat with forks in Utah. It just sounded stupid to me. You know, like.
People have manners in New Jersey?
Yeah, exactly right. That's I mean, like Matthew handled it like a pro. I would have been like, yeah, dumbass. You know, like what the fuck, man. Don't even like I don't even know what to tell you. Steve Egerton's from Salt Lake City, man. He's in the Descendants. He's one of the best punk bands in the country. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you know, like what is wrong with you? You like because I know that John comes from a punk background. So I was disappointed that he would think that because like punk bands tour everywhere.
Well, and his show was one of my favorites because he always had great bands on. I still
Yeah,
remember watching some of my favorite '90s punk bands on the Jon Stewart show.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, like I like the guy. I just didn't like his answer. His
Yeah,
reaction to punk.
that's
Just that comment, not the move. Just the comment that there wouldn't be punks in Salt Lake. Like it's like, dude, that's what the fuck's wrong with you, man?
And there's another reason why they have the actors and not the directors on the talk shows.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, like they want to talk to Matthew. I think, and he did it. He said, "Oh yeah, he was fine. Yeah, you'd be surprised. He did a good job. Like you know, like where punk has gone. I think that John was. I know he was appealing to an audience. I don't think he would say that now because he's realized that, you know, dunking on flyover states, as they call them, is not really cool. You know what I mean? Like I like because like there's lots of people out there, and we keep getting like very far right people in office. I think because of that attitude from the coasts where we don't like pay attention to what's happening in the rest of the country, and like those people in the rest of the country are like that's not cool to say shit like that. I don't think it's cool to say to ignore people like that.
Well, yeah, exactly. A red state doesn't mean everybody's red.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, especially in the cities. I don't know how people don't realize that. Like those, I just don't see. I mean, every state has somebody that votes. Like there are like socialists in the most hardcore right wing Wyoming. You know, I mean, like they're there. You know, I mean, like there's people are people. You know, I don't think that like I think that this dismissal of the rural areas because they are automatically somehow stupid, or even if they are conservative doesn't mean they're stupid, but like you know, like I just think that alienating people like that then halts progress, because you want to I feel like you need to like I want to I want I'm a I believe in progressive politics, so I want things to advance, and I don't think you do that by like calling people rubes and because of where they live. You know, I think that you do that by absolutely going out there and being part of that. But now I am from Salt Lake, so like I know you know what the small town is like because the city was really small when I was growing up there, and I had come from New Jersey to Salt Lake, but you know, so like, but my attitude is like, why do you want to alienate, you know, people who are what should be part of the fold? You can't have a progressive movement if you've alienated 60% of the country.
Gatekeepers. It's always gatekeepers,
Yeah, it
especially
is.
in
It's
any
I
type
don't
of
like that at all. Yeah.
in any type of. I hate calling it counterculture. I sound like an some old dude, but I guess I am an old dude. But in any type of counterculture movement or just that community, it's gatekeeping has become such a horrendous issue. I found a lot of really good friends actually in different online communities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And since then, me and those friends have all split from those online communities because it's all, it's horrible. Everybody's supposed to be helping each
It's
other out, but
tribalism. And I think empty
it,
tribalism is a problem. I think that it serves no purpose.
yeah,
Except that I mean I guess it's a primal sort of lizard brain sort of reaction to like survival, but it's not it's unnecessary. You know, and I think that I really am not happy with how divided the country is right now, and I would seek to reach across and like not let that happen because I feel like it's become this sort of Jeffersonian, Hamilton style rural versus urban. I don't know what like sort of divide, and I don't think that it wasn't so intense. Like when I drove, I did this movie called Americana with Jimmy Duvall and Michael Gorgian, which is a Dogma '95 movie that Lars von Trier was producing, and we like just took our little crew across, like from L.A. And we just drove up to South Dakota and just came down, and just the country felt less. Like everybody was really great. Everybody was happy to have us come through. They're like, oh yeah, shoot in our bar. Come on in. Like because it was this like little tiny movie, and we were just shooting like as we went, and like found locations as we went there. Nobody was being like weird or anything like that. And I kind of feel like if I did that now, I would probably get a lot of shit. And I don't. I think that that's because of we've just fallen into this really weird tribalist time, and it's like it's got to stop.
well, and I've seen a lot of different, especially like different punk scenes and different other music scenes too. Are the people that are drawn into those scenes are the ones that were bullied out of I don't want, you know what I mean, regular social groups or whatever
Yeah, of
because of
course.
the
That's
area
how
they live
that
in.
yeah, yeah,
And then, but now I'm seeing so many where it's just another hierarchy inside that scene. And it's now instead of the bullied, they're the bullies now. Because
yeah.
now you're not as punk as so and so. You don't
Which
listen
is
to the
that's
right
just
type of music.
completely stupid. I don't
And it's just
understand
this
that.
punching down ego driven bullshit. And I don't understand it. And maybe I'm just getting old and jaded. I just want everybody to love each other and be
Yeah, I mean
happy.
that's what it was sort of like. That's why I even tried to accentuate that in the sequel, but like or the spinoff, that like you know that culture as that culture of outsiders that were just trying to find a place where they were safe, you know, and can have a good time and be themselves without like being judged or whatever. And I think that that's and if you start excluding people because for whatever reason, except for the Nazis, you know, I just kick out the assholes, you know, I mean, that's okay.
Yep.
Or force the assholes to not be assholes by like just, like sort of barricading them. Because I mean, by asshole, I mean people who come in to harass other people. Because that's the only rule I thought existed was like, just don't fuck with anybody. You know,
Yeah.
come and don't judge. Just be here and enjoy, and don't be there to then harass or beat up or hurt other people. And I started seeing that happening more and more, and in those some of those like mosh pits, like I was like, whoa, guys, like some assholes started to infiltrate it. I mean, that's why the Dead Kennedys wrote that song "Nazi Punk Suck Off." It was because of the
No.
assholes that were coming into the shows and starting shit. And so I mean that so apart from that, like it is an outsider movement. Those are outsider movements. So like there is no hierarchy in being an outsider.
Yeah, you'd think, but
There
then there's
shouldn't be any. There shouldn't be.
yeah, exactly. All
Yeah,
right.
I mean, we're all dorks. I don't know. I mean, and we live in a country where like, I don't know, like, where like there's like 17% of the people in this country think the Earth is flat. So I don't know where we're at with like being superior, because like I'm not going to divorce myself from the country. So if 17% of the country believe the Earth is flat, then that's part of me. I'm part of that. So I can't really get on my high horse and be like, whoa, you know.
Yeah, I don't even remember what it was. Every single day, my wife will look at me or I'll look at her, and one of us will say, "This timeline is fucking weird," because
Yeah,
it's just like I still say it was the day. Okay, here's my conspiracy theory. I think that CERN's Hadron Collider did something and
maybe.
spun us down a weird timeline because this shit can't be real.
Okay,
Like the
but there was
onion.
a,
The
I
Onion is sitting there like the Onion in hard times are like, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to make shit up, and we can't come up with anything this good.
but I kind of feel like when I look at it that the whole in the 80s there was Satanic Panic, and that was really crazy. Like that was like everyone was completely insane. It was like, whoa, you did not think that your sister was a Satan worshiper trying to kill her children because your dad named his boat Witch's Brew. How the fuck did you get there? And she's got psychiatrists saying, yes, it's true. They are satanic devil worshippers. Like, how did so like the country is a very open country. We have a lot of every once in a while we'll go this ebb and flow where we'll just like sink into this like total like we'll like the lunatics will come out and like they'll be like we're all insane and we're like we don't believe in science, we think that the rapture's coming, we think that like it's happened over and over again, like it happens, it's cyclical, and then eventually everyone comes to their senses like okay, well that didn't work out because a whole bunch of people die or whatever and it just doesn't, and or they burn out, and then people come back to reason and that becomes the thing, and then reason, and it all explodes again and everything goes crazy. And I think it's just it's sort of like the political environment right now from everywhere is that everyone is very fucking paranoid. And and I can understand why in some cases, but like it's just sort of gotten I think that everyone just needs to chill out.
But all right, we should probably start wrapping this up. You got anything last minute you want to plug that you got coming up at all?
No, I think I covered everything.
Yeah, it's covered
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, first of all, I gotta thanks James. This has been like I'm just geeking out. This has been a total fanboy moment for me getting to have you on the show. I really appreciate it. Writer director of my favorite movie of all time, SLC Punk. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And everybody, thank you for watching. As always, please like, share, subscribe, give me some feedback. Want to know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, and always just have fun, be nice to each other. And we will see you later. And James, thanks again.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.